Hello, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and I figured I'd actually hop on to Midgard and just kind of make the little, I don't know what this video is gonna primarily be about, but I feel like since it is now, Skade's, 5th, anniversary, I figured it might be kind of a fitting time to just make of this video just talking about maybe we'll tour maybe we'll tour my base and my farms again, but at first I just want to kind of talk about so I've actually been on Skade for pretty much Skade's entire existence. Whereas a few players have logged up, like, I think they've joined like pretty early on in Skade's history, then left maybe for a few years to take a break, and then just recently returned. I've actually been a consistent member of Skade for basically its entire existence, though I have been through, though kind of recently I have started to spend a little less time playing on Skade and actually playing other games. But I do still have I still have projects ongoing on Midgard that I am still putting that I am still working on and building. But it's just now I'm putting a little more of my time that I maybe a few years ago would have spent on Midgard. I'm now spending on playing other games, such as like as of more recently, I have my Kerbal Space Program videos, which a decent chunk of my free time is I've been putting into. And I guess kind of in some ways I am experiencing a little bit of burnout as far as kind of coming on here to play Minecraft, but for me, like, I've never truly lost my motivation to come onto the server and play Minecraft. Like, I've never at any point in my life playing on Midgard, or even on the old server, at least up until the time where at least up until later in my experience on the old server, when the redstone rules had to get very strict because of the issues the server was running into. Like, outside of that whole nightmare that I had to go through, it's largely my motivation to build, to come onto here to build my base, or to build new farms, or just to play Minecraft in general, kind of largely hasn't waned all that much. Though nowadays I am maybe Minecraft, like, maybe I don't quite get the same level of excitement from playing Minecraft that I did several years ago. But I still feel like Minecraft is going to be like timeless for me. Like I'm always going to have at least some desire to come out to play Minecraft. Though even if maybe a few years into the future I end up maybe making a single player world and spending more time there versus over here. But yeah. And another thing that is another thing that I just realized, not only is Skade 5 years old, but my main base, my underwater base, is now 8 years old. So I first, I believe construction of this base, my construction of this base officially started, I want to say in the fall, around the fall or the winter of 2018. And back on the old Big Kids server. And since then, well, I started the construction of the space back in 2018, but I didn't officially move into the space, I want to say, until the spring of 2019. But that was when this lobby, the Guardian Farm, which was the first farm that I ever built in the space, and that portal room was built. But back then, the base was just this portal room connected to this lobby, and the Guardian Farm went. There was a tunnel that went up here, and then this room used to be here, and then it went this way, and then the Guardian Farm was there. But, yeah, but now the base has expanded to what you see here. And I just kind of kept building it more and more, and I kept adding more farms to it. And then I've added more rooms. Like this room here used to be my storage room. Used to be where my storage room and my auto smelter was. But then I realized I may have putting the auto smelter and the storage room in the same area was a big mistake. And I made corrective action and moved the storage room to this building and the auto smelter to this building before my base had become it had become the second Atlantis on that server. Well, as far as having too much redstone in one area. And fortunately, my base did not succumb to the issue that the old Atlantis base on the old server did, which was there was too much redstone built in one area, and it caused massive server lag. And then the admins Well, first the players removed most of the redstone in Atlantis, but then the lag didn't fully go away, and so the admins decided to just revert the whole area back to the way it was before Atlantis was built. But even then, the lag didn't fully go away. And well, let's just say I am very lucky that my base did not have that problem. And this is, to me, this having a base last this long is an achievement in and of itself that I don't know if I'll be able, I'm not sure if I'll be able to repeat this. Like, will I be able to have a base that lasts, like, for 8 years? Because, like, well, for me, the way I play Minecraft, a base to me is like a long-term investment that I intend to keep for many years. Just because to build a base this big takes like to build a base that's this big can take several months to a few years in of itself. And well, for me to and I also have a hard time with creativity in this game, as when it comes to coming up with an idea for a base that not only I'm satisfied with, but also is mostly original. Because, well, yeah, I can just copy another build that I think looks really cool. It pains me to copy an existing build so much that I can't say that it's my original idea, and that I have to come out and say, this was a build from Mumbo Jumbo that I just kind of made a few changes to. I mean, yes, I built it as my base, but it's not my idea. It's Mumbo's idea. Or this build, I can confidently say was mostly my idea. But where the original inspiration for this base came from was actually another base that I built. It was on the Little Kids server. That I actually can show you on Midgard, because I did have Blue paste that build in for me. Yeah, and this is, this is a base that I built, on the Little Kids server, and while this technically was not the first underwater base that I ever built. The first underwater base that I ever built was actually on a single-player world that unfortunately no longer exists, because I had the bright idea of loading my single player world in a snapshot, but before I learned how to make backups of Minecraft worlds, and I may have irreversibly corrupted that world, and I couldn't. I've done damage to it that I couldn't save, and yeah, I lost my survival world. Though I do have a bit of a project that's in the works that is aiming to recreate that survival world, at least to the best of my ability and to the best of what I remember that I had in that world. But that's not finished as of yet, but that is something I do plan on doing so that I can actually make a video about what my first survival world was like and kind of what my first foray into survival Minecraft was like before I joined the old community. But this was kind of I didn't get all that far with the space because I believe at the time I think there was a time where the old server was going to have a map reset, and unfortunately I didn't get very far with this build by the time that map reset happened. And well, by the time that the map reset happened, I believe this lobby, the boat station, and the storage room was really the only part of the space that I was able to complete. Though the reason behind why the space got built had to do with a previous space that was facing some server issues that were causing like hoppers to stop working, and I think even some blocks to disappear. Though for context, the base that this one replaced was actually my first foray into like redstone automation and auto sorting for general item storage. Like that was my first large auto sorter that I built, but well, I learned the hard way that server could not handle large auto sorters, and that base started suffering from server corruption, and I decided that it was just time to move on to go to another base. And that's where I built this space. And as for what my plans are going to be for this on this server, I don't know for sure. I don't know if this space is going to serve a functional purpose, outside of just being memorabilia for me. But well, since I pasted it in kind of not far away from my current main base, I might build a tunnel between this base and my current underwater base. But I guess we'll see about that later. Oh, and another feature of this base I built. This beacon changes patterns whenever the sun goes down, and also all these lights turn on. And I think it's one of the few. This was one of the few bases where I actually did something like that. Though other than that, I had like this was like a boat station. Like I don't know, I don't think it works currently. Oh, the redstone isn't here, but on the server I built this space on, there was a button, I think it used to be here, that makes this floor go up and down. And this, I think this had 1 block of water. Like I think this had water in it that was 1 block deep. And the boat would be in here, and then the floor would be extended so that the boat is not is not in the water. And then you can press a button. I don't know if the button made the floor go up or down, but it's like this is kind of where I'd keep the boats. And then out here there used to be basically like a boat escalator where you ride the boat, and there'd be like stairs, but made of water. And then that's how you would go. You'd go from like underwater inside this base up to the surface of the ocean. But boat mechanics back in the days where that actually worked were very frustrating. Like if you so much as run into a block, even at pretty modest speeds, your boat would break. And also, this was back when boats, when broken, would turn into planks and sticks. Like you couldn't actually reclaim a boat by breaking it. But when boats were overhauled, I believe it was in Minecraft version 1.8. They also unfortunately lost their mechanic where, when in water, they would float upward. So that unfortunately broke that water escalator. Though I think about the time that the Little Kid server updated to 1.8 was also when the world reset happened. So this base got lost to that anyway. Though the boat issues were frustrating enough that even though I intended to use boats as my primary transportation in this base, I ended up... so I built this base next to an island where my other friends were living at the time. Well, like where my other base mates were living. And I ended up just building a minecart tunnel, I believe around here, connecting the base to the island, because boats were that frustrating. So that I could no longer use them as my primary transportation. Oh, and up here was was an ender pearl elevator, where you throw ender pearls. Like if you throw an ender pearl up here, that would trigger that tripwire and cause pistons to close blocks behind you, so then you could climb a ladder up here. Though I don't think I ever ended up using this room for much of anything. And I originally planned to have a similar kind of room in my current main base, but I ended up never building that, so I ended up just having a hole in the top of the lobby dome, which actually kind of came in handy for entering and exiting the base. Like I would always just elytra in and out of the lobby through there. And this was going to be the storage room, and I think I maybe wanted to build an auto sorter here, but because of what happened with the previous base, I decided I decided not to go the auto sorting routes, just for fear of either causing the same problem again, or maybe the admins getting in on my case about redstone and saying, oh, you should get rid of this, it's too laggy or whatever. But the only other major redstone I ever built in this space was this auto smelter here, which did work, but I don't think I ever ended up using very much, because I think not too long after I built that auto smelter, the world reset was announced, and that kind of spelled the end for the space, unfortunately. But yeah, so that base kind of served as the original inspiration for this base. So I joined the Big Kids server, and I kind of had some trouble coming up with what's my main base is going to be on that server. And then I remembered that base, and I thought it would be really cool to have an underwater base again. And I originally planned on building this base, or I'd say as early as 2017, but the server was basically dormant back then, where very few, like I think one of the only active players on the server at that time, and it just felt lonely there, like almost to the point where it felt more like I was just on a single player world versus being on a server. And I guess I just didn't feel like playing on there long enough to build this base. And I guess I just had concerns that server was just never going to bounce back from that period of time where it was basically dormant. But then in 2018, that changed when Blue and a few other players started returning. And then Atlantis was born. And then I finally had the motivation back to get to building the space. And also around that time was the update Aquatic, or version one, Minecraft version 1.13, and to me it felt fitting enough to build an underwater base in the update that actually changed the oceans forever. I could keep going on and on about the history of my base, but I feel like now I'll wrap up this maybe I'll wrap this up as a one video, and then maybe if I feel like it, I might do another tour where I go more in depth of like what all my builds are and what some of the history of them is. But yeah, anyway, it's actually kind of like mind-boggling to me that this base has managed to last for this long. But I guess I guess my whole approach of segregating all my redstone has really I guess that is the main reason why that, and I guess me having the motivation to want to see this through, like actually see this base expand, actually is why this base has managed to last this long. And me having the foresight even just before the farm team was even created, to separate most of my redstone has proven to allow the space to live as long as it has. Whereas on the old server, I've been through, I think in my 4 years that I was active on the little kid server, I've been through as many as 7 bases. Well, some of them, one of them I left because I had I had too many neighbors surrounding it where I couldn't expand my base because I had 3 other neighbors surrounding me. And also that server had protection regions that were you could claim a region around your build that it basically prevents other players from griefing it. But two of them were because of redstone. With having too much redstone in one area. And even one base in particular had to have been the most ironic. That the reason I even built it in the first place was to escape a base that had too much lag. And then it ended up being one of the laggiest bases on the whole server. But anyway, I finally, after making that mistake several times, I finally learned my lesson, and I've made this base with lag prevention in mind, and it's still here today. So yeah, that's definitely something. And much later in my life, I'm probably going to, like, if I reminisce about Minecraft and all the cool things I did in Minecraft, I'm probably going to reminisce about this base because it's been with me this long, and me and this base have gone through a lot together. And to me, it's just kind of insane that it's still here, and it's still here to tell its stories. And and even to this day, I'm still living in it and even still building onto it. Oh, I've actually kind of run out of things to say, so I'm just kind of speechless. I do have more things. So it's kind of so this base, kind of having lasted as long as it did, is kind of, to me, it's kind of like reminiscent of, or I guess similar to Etho's Let's Play world, where they've had a Let's Play world that has lasted goodness, I don't know how many years at this point, but I know it's definitely more than 10 years. And I think they've had the same Minecraft world ever since, I think, like version beta 1.8. And they even have a couple of other worlds that date back even to uh the alpha and beta days of Minecraft, which is kind of mind-boggling for me to even think about. And I actually kind of wish that I would have, like, that I've had experienced the alpha and beta Minecraft, like that have been playing long enough to have experienced that era of Minecraft. But I have been playing Minecraft longer than most people do, so I guess that's something to say for myself. And well, if you're wondering what this is my map room. And because of Taliesin's map hyperfixation, where they just love to build maps in Minecraft like this. And like they've done it several times on the old server and a few times on this server. And I just thought it would be really cool to have a map of my base and also the area surrounding my base. So unfortunately, since my base is mostly underwater, doesn't really show up that well on this map. But I do plan on maybe building maps like this for future bases of mine that are not underwater. Oh, and because of the Skadeaversery pack, the boats look like this, which is kind of fun. Though guess for what things I like that I did with this base and what things I don't like and what things I would change, I'm mostly kind of happy with the style that I went with, though the one thing maybe I might change or maybe I wish I would have done differently is that with this portal room, how I made it like nether themed, but I ended up not making the theme of the other theme anywhere else in the space different. I kind of wish maybe I might have chosen different themes for other sections of the space. Though I guess I kind of have that going on with the nether tree farm down there. Though everywhere else is basically just this theme kind of continued throughout the base. Which I don't have a huge issue with, but I just maybe kind of wish that maybe I might have I might have varied up the theme a little bit more in other areas of the base. Though nothing says that though no rule says that I can't make that change now if I want to. And I made me wish that maybe I might have laid the base out more efficiently. Because, well, if I want to go... Say if I wanted to go to the nether tree farm, and I'm currently at my lobby, I gotta take this ice boat highway to here, then go through the old storage room, and then go through this ice tunnel, then go through the smelter, and then take this ice tunnel down to here. And then I gotta go that whole journey all the way back to the portal room if I want to exit the base. Which is also why I also added portals to go directly to the storage room and the smelter from my portal room, at least to kind of alleviate that problem, or at least a little bit. Oh, and I also added a portal that goes to this room, which is my enchanting room, which I've done because it's also relatively close by to my enchanted book storage room and my future villager trading hall, which I'm planning on putting somewhere in this area. Maybe I might end my video here just because I think I've been kind of rambling for about 3/4 of an hour, and I think maybe that might be best to end it here. And then maybe in the next, maybe I'll make a video in which I tour my base and my farms as well. So if you want to see that, stay tuned for that. But this has been me, Dusty Circuit here, with I guess kind of a throwback video about some of my experiences on Midgard, and also about my underwater base. And If you and if you liked what you saw, remember leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see my next videos, be sure to hit the bell for notifications. And peace out. Bye.